Today we'll talk about other things. I don't understand. I never played Pokemon Stadium, but I never understood the hatred for Pokemon Battle Revolution. Oh, there's no mini games. I mean, the game sucks. Nostalgia blind people. Same thing with the Starfire. It's mostly the N64 generation, the nostalgia blind. They hate everything that came out after the N64 because it doesn't hold a candle to the greatest console of all time. But many went over. The weeks were long, of course, like every time they are. So every week for the Nintendo Direct said there was going to be Game Boy and Game Boy Advance and Game Boy Color games coming to Nintendo Switch Online. Okay, they said we are going to be getting Game Boy, Game Boy Advance games, and Game Boy Color games for Nintendo Switch Online. Well, I think that would have been a good idea. I think that but again, it took them like a couple years to get N64 games on there, and they're still porting N64 games on there. Okay, this and of course Smash Bros is one of the few games that isn't on Nintendo Switch Online. But yeah, there was no Game Boy, Game Boy Color games, and Game Boy Advance games announced for Nintendo Switch Online, despite every week saying there was. And even back then, back in the February one, they were saying that they were going to be coming on Nintendo Switch Online. Back in the June weeks and July weeks, there were Nintendo Switch Online games for Game Boy Advance games, and Game Boy Color games. Again, a lot of people said this was going to be happening, but to a surprise, they weren't announced. Announced. Well, I think will Game Boy Advance games, and Game Boy Color games come to Nintendo Switch Online? I think they eventually will come to Nintendo Switch Online. But yeah, not right now. I don't play Zelda, but I kind of pity Zelda fans. They come up with all these grander games and things, there must be a Switch Pro coming out. I can't wait for the next couple months saying there's going to be a Switch Pro coming on May 15th because Breath of the Wild 2 is releasing like May 15th or something around that time. So that means Breath of the Wild 2 must be coming out on Switch Pro must be coming out. I don't think there's gonna be no Switch Pro. It's May 12th. There's gonna be no Switch Pro coming out on May 12th. Okay, but the more infamous weeks was that the direct was going to be a Zelda blowout. That Zelda remakes were going to be announced as well. Twilight Princess and Wind Waker were going to be in the weeks as well. Okay, but nope, there were no Twilight Princess and Wind Waker HD. There were no Twilight Princess and Wind Waker HD announced. There was Pikmin 4 announced, which I think is far more important than any Zelda game, because Pikmin, in my opinion, is a way better franchise of Nintendo's than any Zelda game. But more people buy Zelda games than Pikmin games, so I'm in the minority here. But yeah, there were no Wind Waker, no Twilight Princess remakes or remasters at all. None at all. Okay? And the last infamous game that appears in every game, okay? Metroid Prime. Okay? There was no Metroid Prime mentioned at all. Okay? No Metroid mentioned whatsoever. Okay? No Metroid Prime at all. Okay? None. And then we have other games that were rumored as well. Mario Odyssey 2, or, basically, yeah, Mario Odyssey 2. People were saying that some people were saying that Mario Odyssey 2 or a new Donkey Kong game by the Odyssey team was going to be announced. But there was no news about Mario Odyssey 2 or Donkey Kong at all. I think those are like late 2023 games, so I still wouldn't hold your horses on those games just yet, as well. Well, there was no Mario Odyssey 2 or new Donkey Kong coming out at this current moment. And there was no Zelda blowout which means Twilight Princess HD and Wind Waker HD coming to Switch. It's just gonna be like Oracle of Ages and Oracle Seasons remakes coming out as well, which those were before Twilight Princess HD and Wind Waker HD coming to the Switch as well. But yeah, no new Mario games were announced either. And also Pikmin 4 was announced, but most of the rumored games and leaked games, the common games that were leaked as well. And also there was no F-Zero game or Star Fox game announced, which was to no surprise. There were many weeks saying that there was going to be a new Star Fox game or a new F-Zero game, and there was no Star Fox or F-Zero game. What did we get? What did we actually get instead? Oh yeah, anime games that no one asked for and indie games that no one asked for. I know people love anime games and indie games, but most people don't play those. Especially Just Dance. Just Dance was probably the worst thing they sold off in a Nintendo Direct ever. Maybe besides Fortnite, which also is complete garbage. But yeah, the Nintendo Direct was disappointing and not disappointing at the same time, in my opinion. It was disappointing because there was mostly anime games and indie games, basically. But there was also Pikmin 4 and Kirby Return to Dreamland getting a remake. So you win and you lose some, basically. And also there was a new Fire Emblem game, but I don't play Fire Emblem games anymore. I didn't really like Fire Emblem Fates too much, so I stopped playing Fire Emblem games. Maybe I'm like that guy who was mine and there were diamonds, I didn't get the diamonds. Maybe some people said there were free hopes and free host houses are pretty good games, but I didn't play those. I didn't get those games either. Maybe one day I'll probably try Fire Emblem again, but yeah, there was no Mario Odyssey 2 and no, yeah. So that's basically about this video. Goodbye.